VELO Sound Station was supposed to be Pakistan's next big music revolution. With a massive budget, A-list artist, and the director behind some of the country's most iconic visuals, it had all the ingredients for success. But when it dropped, some videos barely crossed 10,000 views in days. What went wrong? Was it the music, the branding, or something much deeper? In 2025, VELO launched its Sound Station series with one clear mission: to redefine Pakistani music videos. They brought in Bilal Ashari, the visionary behind Legend of Mola Jat, cinematographer, the same genius behind Coke Studios' most iconic seasons. The talent, Atif Aslam, Young Stunners, Farid Shafi, the biggest names in the industry, the sets, lavish, the production value, sky high. On paper, this was a guaranteed hit. The response was underwhelming. No viral moments, no explosive social media buzz, just a slow trickle of views and a lot of confused fans. So what really happened? Here's the first problem. VELO assumed that throwing money at a project automatically makes it good. But in today's music scene, audiences aren't just looking for polished visuals, they're looking for soul, for something that feels real, raw, and relatable. For over 15 years, Pakistan music industry has been shaped by brands. Coke Studio didn't just revive classics, it made them global anthems. Nescafe Basement became a launchpad for raw, undiscovered talent. And Pepsi's Why Not Meri Jaan, it redefined post-COVID sound of Pakistani pop. These weren't just ad campaigns, they were cultural movements. But here's what these projects understood. Music isn't about budgets. It's about moments. Coke Studio worked because it felt like a celebration. Nescafe Basement thrived because it spotlighted authentic Pakistani sound over gloss. And Why Not Meri Jaan? It tapped into the energy of a generation desperate to move, to dance, to feel alive after lockdowns. So when VELO launched Sound Station 3.0 in 2025, it had every advantage. Artist, Bilal Ashari's cinematic vision, and a budget that dwarfed most Pakistani music projects. But instead of joining this legacy, it became a cautionary tale. Legacy brands like Coke and Pepsi earned their place in Pakistani music history by understanding audiences. VELO assumed it could buy its way in. And that was its first mistake. This wasn't just another branded music series, this was VELO's third season. A polished machine designed to weaponize pop music, all to sell a nicotine product to Gen Z. The formula was simple. Take Pakistan's biggest stars, drench them in neon, and pump out hyper-produced bangers tailor-made for TikTok and Instagram Reels. How did a project with this money, this much talent, and this much marketing muscle fail so spectacularly? The metrics difference between season 1 and 2 and then season 3 was just telling a very brutal story. People clicked, then clicked away. VELO wasn't just failing, it was actively being punished. 83% drop in engagement from season 2 to 3. Average watch time on almost every song, 1 minute and 17 seconds on 4-minute videos. Hiring Bilal Ashari to do season 3 of VELO was a masterstroke on paper and a disaster in practice. The director who redefined Pakistani cinema with Mola Jat's raw power now was shooting sanitized pop for a nicotine brand. The first 2 seasons walked a tightrope. Catchy enough to work, edgy enough to feel rebellious. But by season 3, the gimmick wore thin. This wasn't just a flop. This was a systematic collapse. A case study in how corporate machinery can take everything that should work, money, talent, production value, and turn it into something completely soulless. To understand why, we need to go beyond surface-level explanations and examine how VELO misunderstood Pakistani music culture at a fundamental level. Brands and music has always coexisted in Pakistan throughout history. When Pepsi launched Vital Signs in the 90s, they didn't just sell soda, they sold youth rebellion disguised as soda commercials. Even Nescafe Basement worked because it posed itself as the anti-Coke studio at the time. They hired Bilal Ashari for his cinematic vision, but probably forced him to work with very rigid commercial constraints. It's like giving a Michelin star chef a frozen dinner recipe and asking him to improve it. The entire creative process was backwards. The marketing team dictates the music, not the artist. The strategy here is the wasted potential. With this budget, they could have documented underground music scenes, revived forgotten instruments, discovered new talent. Instead, they just made very forgettable pop music with just better lighting. Here's where the failure becomes technical. VELO's team studied viral trends religiously, the 15-second hook, the EDM drop, the relatable behind-the-scenes content. Real virality cannot be reverse engineered. Their videos perform worse with each passing episodes because the algorithm detects disengagement. When people skip after 30 seconds, the system learns not to recommend your content. VELO essentially trained YouTube to suppress their own videos. Meanwhile, indie artists were thriving precisely because they broke every rule VELO followed. No expensive sets, no choreographed dances, just raw creativity that algorithms couldn't predict. And that unpredictability became their strength. VELO's target audience is young Pakistanis, Gen Z, who completely dismissed season 3. After years of polished corporate content, young people crave the imperfections VELO spent millions to erase. This isn't the first time a big budgeted music project misfired in Pakistan. But soon every brand started copying it. The same filters, the same raw aesthetic, the same spontaneous vibe. And just like that, it became very predictable. VELO Sound Station, I feel, fell into the same trap. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about replicating a formula that, quite frankly, already had expired. Audiences aren't stupid. They can smell when something is trying too hard. And here's the irony. If Pakistani viewers want high-budgeted glamour, they'll just watch Netflix. They don't need a music video to give them that. What they do want from local music is identity. Something that feels uniquely Pakistani, not a watered-down imitation of Western productions. Coke Studio worked because it blended tradition with modernity. VELO Sound Station, it felt like it was made for an international ad agency's mood board, not for the streets of Karachi or maybe Lahore. And final nail in the coffin is the algorithm did not care. In 2025, virality isn't bought. It's quite frankly earned. You can't force a song to trend just because you spend millions on it. VELO Sound Station didn't fail because it was bad. It failed because it didn't understand what the audience today wants. Instead of chasing trends, brands need to set them. Instead of copying Hollywood, they need to amplify what makes Pakistani music special. And most importantly, they need to listen to the audience and not just the marketing team. Because ultimately, music isn't about budgets or algorithms. It's about that indescribable moment when sound becomes a feeling.